What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Olave, 1,000 years as, or 1,000 years.
1,000 years.
1,000 yards as a rookie.
What the?
Over 1,100 yards in year number 2. And yet the kind of news cycle surrounding him here is he said, look, I've been good, but I want to be great. Let's start here. Because Dennis Allen also got to back this up, saying that, yeah, look, we think he can do more, and he can do more. And I would say consistency is probably the biggest knock against Olave thus far, given that when the highs are high, like he has very high highs, but then very low lows, as pointed out by NOLA.com Times Picayune. I think he had 4 games of 30 yards or less and 5 of over 100, right? So it's a little boom or bust. So like if you were looking for an area in which you could clearly point to statistically and say, well, this is what's got to be fixed. But I guess what I'm wondering is, like, if you have already gone over 1,000 yards both seasons you've been in the NFL with improvement in year number 2, how much higher can the ceiling get? Like, you're not going to catch for that much more than 1,200 yards, are we? Like what is the number that he would need to hit to be considered elite? Is it fair to expect that much more out of him?
Well, I mean, so like when you look at who was in front of him, and you had Michael Thomas, and I'm not talking about even necessarily all on the field, but off the field, like he was receiver 1, right? In a lot of people's eyes, and he's there. And now you take him completely away, and this is a full offseason where he is going to be, talking of Chris Olave, no doubt the top option on offense, for the Saints.
Yeah.
And so, like, this offseason is going to be a little bit different for him. He's going to be able to go out there and train and work and practice like he is the only receiver 1, because he is. It's like it's no longer a conversation. So, like, those are some of the targets that go away. And I know Michael Thomas didn't play a ton of games, but when he did, like, those go to Chris Olave. There is no doubt who the top guy is on this team. And so that 1,100 from a year ago, like if it goes up to 1,400, then I think you're talking about putting him in elite category, top 10 receiver conversation.
Yeah, and the way to do that would be eliminating those 30 yards or less games. Taylor, can I get give me the top 3 receiving totals from receivers last year, and we can use it as an exercise to compare to what the bar Olave needs to hit is.
Because a lot of people might roll their eyes when I say Michael Thomas, being a guy that got targets. I think we do forget that he had 64 targets last year.
Damn.
Michael Thomas did. He had 39 catches, 448 yards. So that production has to go somewhere. Now, some will go to A.T. Perry maybe as the third receiver on this team, but also that's going to go to Chris Olave. He's going to be the guy that is your main focus. You're going to put 2-man route combinations together for him to get open, not Michael Thomas anymore. So I think that 1,100 can go to 1,400.
So let's do the thing that we do every single time we start to talk about the New Orleans Saints, and let's just project that Clint Kubiak will be the solution to everything. Here is, Alondra, Chris Olave talking about his excitement for Kubiak's new offense.
I love it, man. It's a great offense for the playmakers that we have, the West Coast offense that San Francisco ran. So we got a lot of playmakers since my first year, so it's to be able to use them, and with a lot of pre-snap motion, a lot of different things that we haven't ran in the past. They bring here, so I'm excited.
It's interesting, Jake, because the cynic in me wants to hear something like that and basically say, yeah, well, what else are you going to say? That said, from reading a lot of the different Saints beat writers and talking to guys like Nick Underhill, there is, I think, objectively an undercurrent of confidence. After 18 years of running this system and a couple of years of running it under Pete Carmichael, who's personality-wise a bit of a more quiet guy, and as we know from last year, like objectively, it's not opinion. When you look last year at like who used play action the least, who used pre-snap motion the least, it was the New Orleans Saints. So we can say, I think with confidence, that yes, it would feel very different. And for whatever it's worth, this could all fall apart if you get to the first game, the O-line's getting their ass kicked and nothing works. But I actually take it at face value that the players are really enjoying the change here. Am I being too naive?
I don't think so. I mean, anytime you have change, certainly in your offensive philosophy, defensive philosophy, it's going to bring a certain excitement, right? And it's different if you're thriving and somebody leaves. Like, oh, man, are we going to be able to replicate what we did? That's a different feeling than we're not very good, and then we get change. And then we get change from an exciting offense, one that if you're an offensive player for the Saints, you've eye hustled. You've seen it. You've said, oh, man, look at what they're doing in San Francisco. Look at how they use Christian McCaffrey. Look at how they use Deebo Samuel. Yeah. Look how they use George Kittle. Like, that excites you. So it's a different feeling in the offseason when you've been bad, you've kind of been stuck in the mud, and now you're getting to see that 4x4 truck that's going right through the mud, tearing everybody up, doing something a little bit different. So if I'm a receiver, if I'm a back, if I'm a tight end, even if I'm an offensive lineman on this offense, I am very excited about the change because you're going from something that was the same for, 20-something years? Because Pete Carmichael ran the same thing that Sean Payton did, right? It's almost 20 years, and then now you're going to something that's new, exciting, and something that, 15 years ago, not a lot of teams are running the San Francisco kind of style of offense, right? So it's a little bit new age as well.
So last one on Olave here. Here he is talking about that offense as to what the offense can add to his game.
Just being more explosive, probably more yards per catch with the space that he's putting us into. The more yards at the catch, more explosive plays for not just only me, but Sheed and AK and Taysom. So I'm excited to be able to be in the system.
Yeah, that was another area that Olave could potentially improve on. I think only 4 yards after the catch last year. So very productive, but not necessarily the ball in his hand. He claiming right there that the Kubiak offense is already creating more space. Again, we'll see. Taylor, what numbers would he have to hit to be elite?
So the top 3, Tyreek Hill had 1799.
Damn.
CD Lamb had 1749.
Damn.
And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, a hair over 1500.
So receivers have evolved, kind of right in front of our faces. The expectations have 1,000-yard season, not what it used to be. Funnily enough, if he would go over 1,000 again, he would become just the 10th player in history to do so each of the first 3 seasons. However, to reinforce the point that we're kind of making right now, Amon-Ra St. Brown and one other player, why am I blanking, from his draft class also have the same Garrett Wilson also have the same opportunity to do that. So gone are the days in which Marcus Colston and Anquan Bolden were complete outliers for going over 1K as a rookie. That's more the norm now. So to be elite, what do we think Olave needs? What do you think Olave needs it? 14 or 1,500?
I think 1,400.
Okay.
I think 1,400 puts him in that category of top 10 receiver on every list.
Well, we'll see if Kubiak, Derek Carr, and the boys can get it done. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the 2 guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.